Hi, I'm Kerry Goring. I'm here at St Fagans in the garden of one of the Gerddi cottages, and I am going to be digging out some potatoes. This is one of our heritage varieties. We grow only heritage varieties here, the reason being that the garden should reflect what the people who lived in the cottages would have grown at the time. Some of the older varieties really did suffer from potato blight, which is a disease of potatoes. It's very important that we grow potatoes every year, these heritage varieties, and keep a number of potatoes as seed potato for the following year, so that we can keep historical accuracy in the gardens. Just lifting one of our heritage potatoes, Majestic. Let's see what we've got here. So you can see we've got a few tubers. There we go. So this is a heritage potato. It's an old-fashioned variety that would have been grown by the people who lived in this house. It's very popular at the time. Originally we got the potatoes from the Scottish Agricultural Scientific Association, and they just sent us two potatoes, seed potatoes, of a number of varieties that would be the right sort of varieties for this area and for the cottages here at St Fagans. So one of the oldest we've got is a potato called Lumper, and Lumper is a martyr to potato blight. It's the potato that was grown in Ireland at the time of the Irish potato famine, so it's a rather sad potato, and it has succumbed. We've got it in one of the earlier house gardens, and it has wiped out the crop, sadly. But we will be able to keep a few to grow for next year. And you have to grow them every year, so this year was particularly challenging. Had to make sure we grew our potatoes. We can save our beans and seeds for a couple of years, but potatoes got to be grown every year. So we also grow some heritage runner beans and heritage peas, and here at Gerddi again we have an interesting heritage pea called the Llanover pea, and the Llanover pea, as you can see, it's over. We're letting it set seed, so the seed ripens, because we need to save the seed because you wouldn't be able to buy it in a shop. The story behind this pea is during the Second World War there was a prisoner of war camp at Llanover estate, which is just outside Amgueddfa, and one of the German prisoners of war fell in love with a local girl. He came back after the war and married her, and he brought some of this pea with him, and he got a job at Llanover estate, and this pea was grown there for years and years, and now we're growing it here too. So it's quite a special pea. It does look terrible, but that's because, as I say, we're letting it ripen, and I'm waiting actually to see if any of them are rattly. It is rattling, so that's a good sign. So I will open it up. Oh yes, lovely. I bring you the Llanover pea, ready for harvesting, ready for drying, and then we'll packet it up and it will be ready for sowing in the spring. The other one that's just handy, and that's called the Rhondda Black, and the reason it's called that is because it produces exquisite black seeds, which we will be keeping for next year, and so we will, again, similar to the pea, let them stay on the plant, ripen and dry, and then sow next year. And they are actually very good taste too, so well worth growing, the Rhondda Black. Here we are at Canixton, and I have one of our newly planted apple trees. So as well as growing heritage vegetables, we also grow heritage fruit, and we have 4 quite large orchards here at St Fagans, and we're very keen when we replant, as inevitably happens when some of your fruit trees get very old, you have to replant with new, that we always choose the best heritage varieties. This Golden Pippin apple is one of our newly planted trees. It's about 4 years, I think, since we planted this one. And over the last 2 or 3 years, we've been planting lots of interesting heritage varieties of fruit. And one that I've got here to show you is the Gerddi apple. So this apple was found, a very old gnarled apple growing on Gerddi Island against the shelter of a wall. And it was taken and propagated by a nurseryman in North Wales who found that it was a unique apple, and so they were able to call it the Gerddi apple. Very importantly, it's got a very good flavour and it's a lovely juicy apple, and disease and pest resistant, so it's a good one. So we're trying to grow lots of different Welsh cultivars, and there's a lot more interest in that, and every year we're finding new ones and planting wherever we can. What we do with the apples is we leave some so that the birds have some food, but as much as we can we harvest them and then we press them and make apple juice, and we sell the apple juice in the shop here at St Fagans.